We are following some developing news out of Texas, where a man held hostages for more than 10 hours yesterday at a synagogue. That man demanding the release of a Pakistani neuroscientist convicted of trying to kill U.S. Army officers in Afghanistan. Now, according to the Associated Press, police were called to the area around 11 a.m. after reports of a hostage situation taking place. One of the 4 hostages held at Congregation Beth Israel in Colleyville was released during that standoff, and the remaining 3 were rescued when police entered that building around 9 p.m. where that suspect was killed. This morning, the chairman of a network that tries to prevent attacks on Jewish institutions spoke about that entire situation.
It's hard to describe that we use Jewish institutions as leverages against issues that occur around the world. And the entire Jewish community of the world knows about this issue, knows about what has happened here today. I've spoken to a number of people in Israel and a number of people across the United States, and we are standing here with the families of these people and hoping and praying for their safety.
And to give you some more background on this situation, how scary this was, the synagogue's morning services were actually being live streamed on Facebook when this all took place. Police have not released the identity of the suspect at this time. Hartford firefighters battling a 2-alarm fire on Farmington Avenue last night. The fire department says the fire started in the basement and it spread to another floor. Multiple apartments and electrical components were impacted by the fire. A fire commander tells us the cold weather can make it very challenging for crews.
The second alarm was called. That was mostly because obviously we're dealing with very frigid temperatures, hose issues, and that was for manpower backup.
Fortunately, nobody was injured because of this, and the cause of that fire is still under investigation. Over to New Jersey now, where a massive fire near a chemical plant has been contained after burning through Friday night and into yesterday morning. Officials say the fire reached a building housing plastics, pallets, and chlorine, but did not reach the main chemical plant, which could have put nearby communities in danger. Nearby residents were advised to close their windows, but were not required to evacuate, with officials saying air quality remained acceptable and would be monitored.
Cops told me, don't go down there because there might be the chemicals, the wind is blowing. So I just went upstairs and told my family, you know, we just was looking out the window.
And also in this case, the cold weather presented some problems, freezing water from hydrants and hoses and causing firefighters to slip and fall all over the place. The heavy smoke was seen and smelled as far as nearby New York City. And as we talk about the brutal cold out there, let's get you a check on the weather. For that, we are saying good morning to meteorologist Sam Perry. Sam, hard to tell from that picture behind you that it's like negative degrees outside. It feels like that. And then we've also got this storm coming. We've got that beautiful sunrise there behind you. Calm before the storm.
That's right. This is the proverbial calm before the storm today, Angelo. Everybody get ready. Yesterday, you know, was the 4th coldest high day that we ever had. Only 16 degrees for the high. So it was very cold. Look at the normals, and we're going to get above that. And believe it or not, we are going to go from one extreme to the other. Let's take a look at the current temperatures and what it feels like right now. I'm going to go backwards here. Wind chill feels like 9 below if you step outside right now. Waterbury feels like 9 below as well. And so very cold out there. And yes, some people are sending me some information, seeing 4 or 5 below zero in some of the towns here. And we have 4 degrees now currently in Marin. These are the actual temperatures. And you can see that with that wind out of the north-northwest giving that wind chill. So what can we expect? The timing for this storm will be tonight between 8 and 10 o'clock. Through Monday morning, we're going to have snow to start, going right over to rain along the coastline. A brief mix inland to rain, and then mainly rain for everybody, with the exception of far northwestern Litchfield County. Gusty winds, damaging winds too, 40 to 55 miles per hour Monday morning. Power outages, also coastal flooding during a full moon and high tide cycle. So that's not good. And the full wolf moon tomorrow, actually. Meanwhile, again, we have high pressure in control, and that high giving us the very cold temperatures. Here's our storm system. The actual center of the low now is in Alabama. It's spinning. You can see it kind of counterclockwise here. You get all this snow, sleet, heavy snow now in North Carolina, but that's starting to change over, and all this is moving in our our direction. I know a lot of people probably thinking, why and how can we get rain when it's snowing to our south? Well, it's all about the storm track as it tracks up the Appalachian chain in sorts of, we call it an inland runner instead of a nor'easter where the storm would stay offshore. But look at all the warnings, these winter weather alerts all the way up and down the East Coast. Notice the heavy snow. This is where the winter storm warning is. It's inland as opposed to the I-95 corridor, so lesser amounts of snow and going over to rain. And right in our back door here, right in our neck of the woods, I should say, we have the winter storm warning all the way down now into northern Litchfield County. And here are the multiple warnings and advisories. We have the coastal flood warning. We have a high wind warning in southern Rhode Island. That also spreads into the New London area in southern New London County. Wind advisory here. Winter weather advisories for the northern 4 counties, with the exception of far northwestern Litchfield County, where there is a winter storm warning. And on top of that, again, that coastal flood, I should say coastal flood warning for tomorrow morning. 2 to 4 feet surge, moderate flooding, peaks at high tide. So here's a storm, okay? And here's the high. It's all about this thing here. This high pressure system's in the wrong spot, okay? It's going offshore. When the storm goes off, when the high goes offshore like this, you're bringing in warmer air aloft, and that'll change the snow to sleet and then to rain, because the storm track will bring up that warmer air as it kind of stays inland. So that's something that we always talk about, and we will always keep talking about it as long as I'm doing this, because I just love winter storms. This one, I don't like it because I don't like this kind of messy mess, you know. So the only good news about this system is everybody can stay home tomorrow morning. It is a holiday. Hopefully many of you can just kind of wait it out, because it's going to start snowing around 8, 9, 10 o'clock. And notice the coastline, it's going to quickly change over to rain by around midnight, 11, 12. And then periods of snow over, and actually steady snow in northern Connecticut for a few hours before. Even up in Windsor Locks, we change over to sleet and rain. But look at northern Litchfield County. It still rains, and heavy rain and wind, and those temperatures will be rising into the 40s. So just a little bit of rain, maybe a little slushy snow, and then over to rain 2 to 5 inches in western Connecticut, probably around 2, 3 inches up here, 1 to 2 or 3 here. I have 1 to 3 in the white. 6 to 8 in far northern Litchfield County, where you have the warned area. So, and then we just wanted to show you the gusty winds. Look at these winds of 55 miles per hour along the shoreline. Here's your Fox 61 7-day forecast. Once I get through all the computer modeling that I was checking out, showing you that winter is here to stay. Angelo?
All right.